for Coach?
Andrew, I mean, let's start with the basic. Give us a look at your room. I mean, you're a little bit more, specific than just overall linebackers. You deal with just a few. So give us a look at your room and what you think of them.
I think I got a lot of great competition going in the room right now. People fighting to be the guys that goes out there first, and kind of got them right where I want them, I guess. So really excited about it. Focus on the mic and the will, as you were pointing out, and I like where we're at competition-wise. I think we've gotten better each snap we got. I mean, obviously, we got a lot of room to go.
Do you have enough? No coach ever thinks they do, I guess, but do you?
Do you have enough?
Never.
I'm happy with what we got, and I know we can go win games with what we got, and I wouldn't trade them for a world. So.
You mentioned the Wills, Torbert. He's kind of an intriguing guy, and everybody looks at him and you see a basketball guy who's now a football player, but he's got the football pedigree. Talk about him a little bit.
Man, he takes to it pretty natural, like a sponge. Every snap he takes, he gets better. He hasn't played a lot of linebacker. Coming up, he obviously, like you said, he was a basketball player. He had those hoop dreams in high school, and then played a little bit of like bandit, true outside linebacker out of high school. But his athletic ability, and he's very conscientious, very smart, quiet, but he picks it up really well. And I'm excited. I'm very lucky to coach him, and just gonna. As he keeps taking reps, he'll keep getting better. That's my job.
Coach, do you have to be with him a little bit more to kind of walk him through things when you can? Or do you let him play and then show him later?
I try to let him play as much as I can and show him later.
Yeah.
I think he needs to experience the feel of the game, right? There's so much of linebacker play is quick decisions and game time decisions. I think if I hold his hand too much, then I kind of stunt his growth. So I sit back, and that's for everyone. That's for all the guys. I'm going to let them play. And then that's why we film everything, right? So I want to, then we can go back and talk about the decision we made in this situation. What'd you feel here? When you felt that, well, let's try this reaction. This is what you should do. Instead of holding his hand, let him play. Let him feel comfortable. So
I guess the idea is to let him figure it out. I mean, because it's a lot of what
well, it's my job to help him figure it out, right? But I can't hold his hand the whole time.
Right.
So, I got to let him do it.
You were in a defensive coordinator role at the FCS level before you joined the staff last year. What was it about West Virginia and this coaching staff that made you eager to jump at that opportunity?
Look around, right? I mean, come on. This is nothing like I really enjoyed. I was at Wofford before. I really enjoyed it. It's a great institution, a lot of great people. So I don't want to, this is nothing negative about that. But when you look around here, like West Virginia is the type, this is what I tell the guys, this is the type of place you want to play at. This is the type of place you want to coach at. I came running, this is big time football with a storied program, right? One of the winningest team that never won it. And to have a chance to come here, be a part of a staff and a head coach that allows me to be who I am, and embraces that and the standard. Yeah, I'd love to be a part of the staff that can change that narrative, as we're trying to push for it. So it's a place you want to coach at. It's a place you want to play at. This place is, it's a no-brainer.
Henry, you've got some linebackers who've transferred from other schools and have played a lot of football at their previous stops. So give us a look at Stolsky, Hood, Patterson. Give us a little opinion on each of those.
Well, like I said earlier, I think they're all coming in here competing and pushing each other. We're trying to get better every play. So there's a lot of different levels of experience that come into that and where they're at. So, I think I'm really happy with how they've handled each other, right, where it's not been a negative environment. A push to them. The highest level of learning is teaching. So I give them the opportunity to teach each other and push for each other. And then the natural part of it is the competition, right? So they're pushing each other. So to be able to have those guys buy in and be Mountaineers, I think they push each other, and we're going to get a better product because of them.
Some of those guys come in and being natural leaders.
Yeah.
How are they taking to knowing the offense, or not the offense?
Well, learning the offense very well. No, yeah.
The defense and
I've been really happy with that, right? Really happy. But they're conscientious kids. They're smart. Every single one of them are smart. They love football, right? You're not going to be a Mountaineer if you don't love football. So they've been taking it apart and really bugging myself and Coach Paul and Coach Alley. Like they're always around here. So taking it to duck like water or whatever the saying is, right? So really happy, And as far as leadership, man, like everyone leads in different ways, and we got a wide range of that. So.
Who are some players that maybe you've been surprised by, if you can mention any?
I don't think I'd be surprised by any of them, right? I know that's a cheesy question, right? But like, I'm part of the guys that brought them in here. We're not going to bring somebody in here that I'd be shocked that can play.
No, I don't mean that.
You know.
You get more than maybe what you thought. I don't mean that you thought anyone would suck before you recruited them, but.
Yeah, right. Sorry. No, I'm not trying to be difficult. I don't know. I think they all kind of surprise me in different ways, to be honest with you. They're very different, and they bring different attributes to the game and play the game differently. So they've all surprised me and not surprised me, if that makes sense. I know it's not answering the question, but it's the truth. Like they do different things. They behave different ways. The thing I'm happy with is like their ability to learn and pick it up. I've been really happy and surprised by all of the rooms. Hunger to learn football.
To that point, any cross-training going on? Are the older guys capable of doing a little bit, switching them around to give yourself maybe a little more depth to be able to do that?
Yeah, we start cross-training. That's something that comes from top down, really. So we start cross-training the minute they got here. So
that's been since the spring.
We're going to play our two best,
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Is it an adjustment coming from smaller programs that have fewer coaches to here where obviously coaching roles have kind of exploded a little bit? Do you find yourself having to, hey, I got to pick my spots for when I'm going to say something?
No, to be honest with you. Like, it's just funny. I've coached every level of college football, right? I started my career in Division III, where it's like three of you guys, right? I've been Division II. I've been like every level of college football. And the one thing I can tell you is like my workload has never changed, right? But the more people I'm around and the more people on the staff, we just do more work, right? So you kind of, as a Division III coach, when there's just four of you, right? And one of you guys is the equipment guy, and the other guy's academics and those kind of things. There's only so much you can do, so you're probably not doing the same volume, that we have the luxury to do here because of all the help we have.
How about your two young guys in the room? How are they coming along?
Oh, yeah, they're coming. They're coming along. I'm really happy where they're at. It's not an easy thing, right? You go from the penthouse, the top dog, to a bunch of grown men around you, and that learning curve kind of hits you across the face, But I think they've responded to that and dug through and starting to realize who they can be and play the game, why we brought them here. So.
Coach Alley mentioned a couple weeks ago that the linebackers, sometimes it's the hardest positions to fully get ready for week one because there's no time in the offseason where you're, in a car crash or you're not trying to kill the offense on your own team.
Yeah.
How do you work through that? Is that something you agree with? Is that something that?
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that.
Like, how do you work?
That's the trick, right?
Make yourself ready for week one.
That's the trick. You're trying to find ways, right? That you gotta practice football. We gotta simulate real football, right? But guys, I don't teach tackling for the safety of the guy running the ball. Right. I do teach it when we go against our offense because if we get those guys hurt, we're not the same, right? So like that lesson of where you're at, and that's the hard thing, is where like there's come game day and the intensity, right? And the physicality of it. That's always the hardest thing. And you're always trying to find different ways to simulate a real tackle in a safe environment. You're trying to simulate how to take on and get off blocks in safe, real environments where you can't get people round up and different things like that. So I think that's a big challenge, and I'm glad it's a challenge, to be honest with you. It's a positive change from what we had when, younger days where.
You spent some time earlier in your career on the staff at Clemson underneath one of the top active coaches in college football today in Dabo Sweeney and a really great elite defense at the time. What did you learn during that experience that you can bring back now a decade later at the Power 4 level?
It's a great question. There's a lot you learn there, right? But as far as one, the things that you learn, like especially going up. So like, I came at Clemson originally as a GA, and then ended up leaving as like the senior defensive assistant. And the one thing I can tell you is like organization, right? A teaching progression, being organized, how you run a classroom, right? Which is what we do, right? Those are deals like where you have a bunch of knowledge that you have to teach, and how do you organize that and how you progress that. So that's one thing I would say about being around the defense, and then the organization as far as Coach Sweeney goes is very much the same way. But the thing too is from program too is like we always talk about it in recruiting, right? Like once you've seen it at a high level and you have a high standard, you never want to go back, and that's why, when you experience that, which we did, and it's with Coach Alley there, like I was craving that, and I've been craving and trying to get back to that, and trying to implement that at every place I've been. And go back to the question earlier, why am I at West Virginia? Because I know that's the same standard. It's that standard that we always chase for. That's that high, and when you find people that have it and know what it is, you run to them. As a player, I believe, as a coach, you're trying to freaking run to that person, and I think we have that. I know we have that here, and that's what I learned. Is like, again, and once you see the standard, you know what it is, and you're going to go to it. And that's why I'm at West Virginia.
Sorry, you're from Oklahoma City, right?
Yes.
Good population, good football there.
Yeah.
You went to the Division III school, was Illinois?
Yep.
That's
Knox College.
Not even near home.
The greatest Division III school in the country.
The
Knox
greatest,
College,
sure, right?
Galesburg, Illinois.
Okay. Silly question, but I have to ask how, why?
Well, it was kind of a family tradition. I'm 8 and 10 years younger than my brothers. My middle brother went there. Played for the same head coach I had the pleasure to play for, Andy Gibbons. He actually just retired earlier this year. So I think they got a recruiting letter. My brother got a recruiting letter way back. Went through there and loved it. Went and visited there, and I can't say enough great things about Coach Gibbons and really Knox College. So it was a no-brainer for me.
Figure the history degree would come in handy somewhere else along the line.
Well, I went to school to be a lawyer, and then I started reading the law briefs and all that. I'm like, wait a minute, this one's probably not for me. Somewhere around the Federalist Papers, starting to read this, I'm like, I'm not getting this out of this. So that kind of took a turn. And then I got injured going into my sophomore year, and Coach Gibbons put me kind of in charge of trying to coach to keep me involved. And that's kind of when I got bit by the bug, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I enjoy teaching, and I love football. So.
Are there thoughts, because you mentioned it didn't sound like the most pleasant experience for people trying to coach an entire football team. Very easily, because this is not for me. Maybe I don't want to do law school. Maybe I want to teach, something like that. Or was it always were you bit and you couldn't shake it?
Couldn't shake it.
Okay.
Yeah, even when you have 4 people like that in Division III and all that stuff, it's a blast. It's football's football.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys.